Hello, how are you? Are you good? I hope so. Or as good as you can be, a bit like myself. So, I'm Alistair, this is Accessible Photography, and I'm doing something different. I'm out to take photographs of birds, and, which is something I've not done much of, and I'm going to be processing those images on something new for me. And that is, as I get into the shadow, a new software package to me called DxO Photolab. You might have heard of it, because once you get into it on YouTube, it's really hyped. It's hyped a lot, and so it should be. It is a really good package, and so I'm finding out. So at the end, we'll have a quick look, just a very quick look at what I can do with that. So Vane Farm is super accessible. It has an easy access car park. It's a little rough, but it's okay. There's no steps to the building and to the main shop, reception and so forth. Has accessible toilets with electronic door opening, sliding doors to go into toilets, and swing doors as well. The changing rooms, I think, were sliding. Big open space for the toilet. Perfect for accessibility is what it's all about. And as you come out of, now where I came through where the toilets are, and there's a little passageway under the building. During the day that's closed, and you have to go through the shop. Surprise, surprise, quelle surprise, as they say. You have to go through the shop. Well, that's fine. It's still flat, and you pop out the other side, and there's a steep flight of stairs to get you down to the underpass to get under the road. But there's a loop round that you can take with a wheelchair or a push buggy or whatever to get access to this area that I'm in just now. So that's Loch Leven over there. Can you see the flies? So why exactly am I here? My camera club set a challenge for me to photograph something different, or something you found difficult in the past to photograph. For me, that was birds. I'd photographed them when I came across them, but whenever I went out to photograph them specifically, I very rarely found any. And one thing I'd never done is used a hide. So this was a great opportunity. Straight into the sun. Might not be the best place, but being at the angle I can shoot that way or that way, but straight into the sun is not good. Ooh, there's a duck that I wanted to get earlier. Right, the duck that I wanted to photograph, what I believe to be a shoveler duck, I'll say that again, a shoveler duck, is gone that way. It's too far away, even with the big lens now. Hopefully it'll come back again. I've got a gull nesting just in front of me, geese way out there, and lots of black-headed gulls making a lot of noise over here. A few gulls flying around. I'll see what I can get. Oh, the one I want's right in front of me. Shit. Shit. Where's the hooky? It'll disappear when I do this. Is that the one I want, or is that the one I got the other day? I think that's a shoveler. There's a family, the family of geese that I wanted to see over there, beautifully lit in the sun. So I think a key thing is don't just photograph the bird, but look for some action and the fact that they might be facing you or a good visual of the face and not going away from you. If the bird's going away from you, it doesn't make a good photograph. It might be pin sharp, but it's not a good photograph. And here's me, I don't take very good photographs, but I can be quite a good critic. You get some silhouettes of birds on poles and sticks, I was going to say. I got some real classics of birds fighting each other on these poles earlier. They're quite aggressive beasts. The gull out there again. Oh, look at that, beautiful. Oh, stunning. I wish I'd seen them coming over. So that's me all over. And flight of geese go by and I don't spot it till they're on top of me. Some geese family. So you get the ducklings with the sunlight on their backs, so that the backlit, get the spider out of my way. Oh, they're all together. Oh, perfect. Mummies and babies are facing away from me though. So now they're heading back again. Wonder why that is. I can video the duck I'm photographing. So on the DSLR, photographing what I think is shoveler. So the problem I've got is that even though I'm quite close to the birds, I'm still too far away. They're very small in the camera. So there he is, beautiful, beautiful beast. Lovely duck. I shall identify that before I process this video. But this is the problem, they're very, very small, very far away. So let's try and get a photograph of that. Switch off the camera, there we go. Well, believe it or not, I enjoyed that. I had fun. It was good to be out. Good to be out in this beautiful weather. That's, what time is this? It's 5 to 9. I'm in a t-shirt in Scotland. It's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I'll put the temperature up here, and you see, for most people it's like, are you mad? It's cold. But for me, it's quite warm. So I'm happy with what I got there. Had some ducks landing on the water. That was stunning. I really liked that. But they're still quite far away. So they're really small on the big frame. So I'm going to have to crop in. And when you crop in, that's when you discover just how much noise there is from the high ISO that I'm needing to get 2,000th of a second in diminishing light. So let's see how well DxO Photolab actually is at improving that image. So if you don't mind, I'll see you back in my spare bedroom and have a wee look on the computer at these ducks landing, or this duck landing. Are you here already? So welcome to my spare room, aka the studio or the office, depending on what I'm doing, and my squeaky chair. Should have said earlier, the reason for doing something different can be twofold. First thing, it gets you out doing some more photography, and it enhances your creative juices, especially if you're someone like me. I kind of get bored very easily. This is a subject I might touch on later in a discussion piece with regard to ADHD. I didn't know I had it. Seems like I do. It's not diagnosed yet. But one of the things is I get bored very easily. Bored with what I'm doing, bored with where I am. And that's why I like doing travel photography. So doing something different, like specifically going out to do bird photography, is not something I do. And as you saw, really enjoyed it. The second part of doing something different is it gives you a better appreciation of other photographers and their work. It's very easy, as was shown in that video, to be critical of other people and go, I don't want to see the back end of a bird. And it's true, the back end of the bird isn't really a good photograph, even if it is pin sharp. It's easy to be a critic, but to get out there and actually capture the images that are good is not as easy as it might seem, especially if you don't have the kind of equipment that really good bird photographers have. So it gives you an appreciation of A, what they're doing, B, what their kit is like, and C, how much time they spend perfecting what they do. Now, let's move on to doing a bit of editing. Now, I said we're using DxO Photolab. Full disclosure, the nice people from DxO, I don't know why, but they approached me and asked me if I would like to try out the software. And I was at the point of wanting to find a way, I was actually looking for a way to get out of the Adobe product, because it was costing me quite a bit of money per month. So I thought, yeah, let's give it a try. And the only sort of thing they want is for me to be able to discuss it a little bit in my videos, in whether it's a positive or negative. And if I find things wrong, to feed that back to them so that in a later version, they can improve their product even more. So I'm only touching on the DxO Photolab just now. I will try and do more about it later on. So let's have a quick look at what I've done, or what I can do with the pictures that I've taken just now. So I'm going to open this up. Right, so in here I've selected a few images. One I took previously on a trip to Vane Farm, the family of geese, a duck landing, and a hare, because I saw that after I signed off. Now, I'm not going to do all of these just now, but what I want to do is open this up so I can bring this down to here, go to Photolab, open it up there. So with Lightroom, you would import a folder. Lightroom would then create a catalog, and that catalog is stored separately from the images, which means that if you move the folder at some point, it breaks the catalog and you've got to reassign it. With DxO, there's no catalog, and I'll show you in a moment what actually happens. So this is the duck coming into land here, and I quite like that. The one I really want to work on is this one here, where the bird is touching down into the water. Let's just make that 100%. Do a loop at 200%. Okay. Go into Deep Prime, take it about 30%, take up the force details to 58%, give it a second, and that's coming up quite nice. I quite like how the eye is nice and bright. And if you take the loop off just now, I'll go back to, let's just select the bird. So I want to local adjustments. Okay, so that's the whole bird. And the second mask, what I'm going to do is take the first mask away because it wasn't, was that the first mask? What's the second mask? Oh, the second mask is just a wing. The second mask, don't like that. Delete that one. So this mask here, I just want to increase the sharpness a little bit. So you've got lens sharpness here. You can increase the lens sharpness. And I'm just going to zoom in 200%. It's still doing a correction. So that's it corrected. Don't create another mask, Alistair. It might be a little bit too far. Take it back a bit. Now, when I'm in a mask, so I'm in a mask there, I can actually drop back down to, see the denoising and demosaicing? I can actually make that a bit better or worse, depending on how you want to look at it. Let's just bring this back a bit and close that off. So the bird is now a lot sharper, there's less noise. I'm not sure about the colour in here. There's a bit of purple showing now. Might have been there earlier, not sure. Don't forget you're going to get a sheen off birds' feathers, so that's probably quite natural. But what I love about this picture is the tip of the tail just about to touch the water. I do like that. Now, what if I wanted to export this? It currently is a raw file still. If I export it, I can create multiple different types of output. So I can have a standard JPEG here. I could have a JPEG for a tablet. It could output as a TIFF or as a DNG. Now what I've done is I've created these myself because I want to show you something. There is two types of DNG output. The DNG output mega I'm calling, and I'll explain that in a second. And this is going to go to, let me just check it's going to the right place. Okay, it's mega, and this one here is going to go to, there we go, DNG hi-fi. So it's a subfolder. So we're keeping them in the same folder and moving it into a subfolder. And we're going to export those two. Go back to the folders. So we've got the folders here. And you can see this is the little files that are created when you make an edit. So rather than having a catalog, you now have this little file here, which is little as in 17 kilobytes, 15 kilobytes that match the image. So 1711 is only taking 15 kilobytes of data to record with it. Now the file itself, not the wabbit, it's a hare, is 32.9 megabytes. People complained before that when you create a DNG to export, so you can keep it as a raw, kind of a raw format, it makes a massive file, and it's 36. Don't forget we cropped a lot, so the file would have been smaller anyway. I'm looking at the large raw file. I've compressed it a lot so that the file is not that much bigger. But if I go to the high fidelity compressed, it's 6.7 megabytes. That's a huge saving. So that is a proper DNG file. It's just been beautifully compressed, and it is a lossless compression. And that I think is really, really important, because I could actually lose the raw file now and keep that small DNG file. So this is a very quick look at DxO. It's scratching the surface of Photolab. There's far more to it than I'm showing you just now. I hope to be able to get back and do more about the subject later on. There are other packages within DxO as well that you can try out, and I would highly suggest you do try them out. You can go onto DxO webpage and download for free their packages for a short period of time, so you can try them out and see what you think. And don't worry about it maybe mucking up your computer. It's not going to create a catalog that you then have to find and get rid of. It creates those little files that I showed you, and you can just delete those. So if you didn't want to keep it, you can be back to normal very quickly. However, you might discover that you really, really like it, and I think you will. And if you do, and you fancy 15% off the full price, then use my code, which is AP15, nice and easy to remember, for 15% off when you purchase any DxO product. I'll be back soon, I certainly hope, with another topic, another place to photograph, and more about one of the DxO packages, or this one in particular. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. I really appreciate the subs, and I really appreciate the comments. Leave me a comment, especially if you find I'm saying something I possibly got wrong. Let me know, because we're all in this together. We're all learning together. So let's help each other out. See you in the next one. Quack, 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 quack. I like that.